It's something I feel very passionate about. In fact, I think P.U.R.E, because in my years of engaging people who set up goals, I observe some are very successful and some are less so, and I try to find patterns behind all of them and try to find the methodology that can potentially create self-fulfilling goals, right? The goals that are, when you're set, are so powerful that it's going to be successful, and it's great to have those kind of goals to build, to reinforce your self-confidence, to reinforce positive feelings, and to be able to grow further from them. And the framework I've come up with that I feel is very relevant, especially nowadays with so much complexity around us. What kind of goal should we set? And by the way, December is around the corner, so we're going to have New Year resolutions. What kind of goal should I set for the new year? These are all very relevant points. So the way I would encourage people to look at is what we call the P.U.R.E framework, P-U-R-E. Each stands for an aspect of the goal setting, and I'll explain that very briefly here. P stands for positively phrased, right? So it's a positively phrased framework. So take New Year resolution as example. Instead of saying, I'm not going to drink, too much alcohol every week, I'm not going to drink too much alcohol. So when you think of it, you're thinking about drinking alcohol. So our brain just messes up when we think of it this way. Or you can say, so if I think about when I drink alcohol, it's, after dinner, friends call, we go out party, and next thing I know, I drink too much. So then I say, okay, I want to make sure at least 5 nights a week, I do reading at home after dinner. Right? I'm just going to do that. In fact, I'm going to put in my schedule, so I'm not even available to take up calls. So I can positively frame something to prevent the negative incidents from happening. So having positively, then you're visualizing I'm sitting there reading or writing or doing something that's more reflective and not drinking alcohol, most importantly, not drinking. So that can be a way of frame it positively framed. You is under your control, right? So we have goals like, people have goals like, I want to get promotion in 2026, or I want to win the lottery in 2026. I mean, you can set up those goals, but can you really control it? The answer is, marginal at best, right? So, but instead say, hey, I want to go that's 100% under my control. So you can say, instead of saying, I want to get a promotion, you can say, hey, I want to spend time with the people on the promotion committee at least once in the first quarter so they get to know me as a person. So I send invitation to people on the committee to catch up with them. Now, the goal is I send invitation. The goal is not I'm going to speak to them, because whether they're willing or available to speak to you is up to them. Yeah. Whether you can send an invitation is up to you. So your goal will just be under my control. I send the invitation. That's already my goal. Done, right? I did what I could. And the rest is up to them, which is not in my control. So make sure you focus on a component that's under your control, which makes it obviously achievable because it's under your control. And then there's the R, which I want to use the word resonate, right? Does it resonate with you? Does this goal make your heart sing? I.e., is it aligned with your values, with your purpose, with who you are? When you think of the goal, do you go, yeah, I want to have that, right? Yeah. And it could be the goal or something that the goal, if achieved, allow you to do. So is there some connection at a higher level beyond the what and the how that resonates with you? And let's say it does, right? Because you would know, right? Other people, they don't count. It's really you deciding whether this would resonate with you. And so up to this point, we're talking about something that's positively stated, something that's under your control. It resonates with who you are. So there's alignment. There's no interference. Yeah. But let's say, you're still not doing it. Well, maybe you're missing the E, which is energy, right? Is it exciting? You can call it energy. You can use exciting. Is it something that's exciting to you? And you may say, you know what? Sending out meeting invitation on a calendar to my, stakeholder is not really exciting to me. Okay. How about linking this to something exciting? So in other words, maybe you want to go on a weekend trip to Phuket. And then you say, you know what? If I achieve this goal, I will reward myself with a trip to Phuket. And now it sounds exciting, right? You're like, hey, wait a minute. I just send out some invitations and I get to go to Phuket. You kidding me? I'm in, right? So you need to find something intrinsically exciting about the goal, or attach something that's exciting to the goal, so that if the goal is achieved, you experience that excitement. Could be get yourself a box of Godiva chocolate, or go watch a movie with friends, or, like I said, trip to Phuket, whatever the case may be, but something exciting. So if you line up P-U-R-E and you go, okay, it's positively stated, so I can visualize it very clearly. It's positively stated. It's under my control, so I can do it, right? I can make the effort and I know it's going to get done. Yeah. It resonates with who I am, so there's no interference. In fact, I want to do it because I feel good about it. And it's exciting, so I have the energy to make sure it happens. If a goal is pure, there's no way you don't do it, right? Mm-hmm. There's nothing holding you back. Yeah. You're going to make it happen. So the magic behind this approach is, whatever the large goal that you have, break it down into components. For each component, find a pure goal aligned with that component, so that each pure goal gets you closer to your longer term goal. And that will make your year much more productive. And more importantly, along the way, you build confidence. You build positive reinforcements, right? You're like, wow, this is
Yeah.
great. I'm having fun. It's exciting. It's aligned with who I am. I can do everything I've set out to do, and I'm getting closer to my goal all the time, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that we can practice and see how it works, right?
Yeah, sounds perfect. Because having like a purpose, a why, a calling, ikigai is like a long-term thing, relatively long-term. But in the short term, you can have multiple pure framework-driven kind of cycles, right? You have a
That's right.
goal, you achieve a goal, you get more energy and confidence, and you get your next pure goals. And it seems something could be deeply powerful, and people's confidence could be at the next level after several rounds of pure goal achieving, right?
Yeah, it compounds, right? It absolutely compounds. And just as an aside, like we always talk about the emotional impact of success versus failure, or positive versus negative. And I often quote this, like I think there's like a ratio of 3-to-1 roughly between you need 3 positive results to offset the emotional impact of 1 negative result. And so when you do pure goals, these are positive, and you're going to get positive results from them. So you can like build up pure goals because your body used to getting hit from all these negative goals that don't quite work out, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
again, damn it. But then you do pure. So what I'm suggesting is you will need you to do a series of pure to flush out all the negative emotional memories from your system, to re-envision yourself as someone who's very, as an ikigai, like you love what you're doing, you're being very positive, you're trying to do what you can, you're making progress, all these things adds up, but you have a bit of a negative baggage from before. So just do more of the pure goals to kind of offset all these negative emotional memories until you feel much more renewed and positive overall. And I think that's a great way to reconstitute yourself, right? Reposition yourself as a very positive, engaging, confident, and pure goal achiever, which is great.
It's literally my recent experience related to coaching, and it's just recently I hit a trough. I was hit hard by a bunch of clients. Yeah, I wouldn't go into too much detail, but it was draining, a draining process. And when I'm doing coaching, I couldn't continue because the borderline traumatic experience is holding me back 100%. And one day I just realized maybe I should find some positive experience related to coaching. It's not the coaching itself, it's the problem. It's the negative experience associated with coaching. So I got some positive experience. I know I wouldn't fail. I know the people will be supportive. They will be warm. They will be energetic, and they will give me energy. And then boom, recovering from the trough. And I think that's exactly very similar to the pure idea, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, what you did was a pure, right? Because you went to look for people who are positive towards you, which is
Yeah.
under your control, and it resonates with your love of coaching, and you feel exciting if you have these kind of conversations, right? That's pure. So you did a bunch of pure experiences, and they stack up and offset all these negative hits that you took. I mean, analytically, that's what happens, but emotionally, I mean, I can feel it's while you're in the trough, it's really tough, right? It's everything just goes pear-shaped, but you had the resource to climb out through some of these proactively through some of these positive experiences, which is great. And I hope to your listeners at large, life is a cycle. You're going to go hit some down points, but find out some pure goals that's easy to implement and just do them, because that will help you to get out of that very quickly.